It would be good. It would be good. Hold on, I got a mess. So, you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. It's like as soon as you get started doing something, y'all check that. My phone went off as soon as I went live, right? That's what happens every time you want to do something, every time you want to get to the bag, get to what it is that you do, distractions come out of nowhere. Like if you didn't get a phone call all day today, you didn't get a phone call all day today, and like even while you was at work, you didn't get a phone call from anybody all day. But as soon as you get home to do that kingdom work, when you want to do that thing, what happens? A phone call comes out of nowhere. Y'all just witnessed that, right? As soon as I just went live and the phone call just comes right in. That's terrible. That's terrible. Here's what we need to be paying attention to. We need to be paying attention. We need to be paying attention to the people who that person is and how often that happens. And how often that happens. Every time you get started doing something, not only does the phone call come in, not only does a fire truck goes by with the sirens on, or police sirens, or a truck comes by, or somebody starts mowing their lawn. Not only do those things happen when you are doing kingdom work, right? But we need to also pay attention to who is it? Who is that person when you get that call? Because they might be on assignment. They might just be on assignment. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And if you're watching right now, send this out. Share this to somebody else. And make sure you guys subscribe. Right here, right now, where you see this, make sure you guys subscribe. Yeah. So yeah, just a lot going on in the world right now. And just want to kick it with you guys. Yeah. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Got a few people out there that are um, that I sent it to, and let's see what happens. Go ahead and you guys go ahead. You can uh, make a comment, shoot me a comment, say what you have to say. Let's talk. What's going on in the world, and you can talk about anything. This is an open space where we can talk pretty much about anything. We're grown folks. We're all out here. Nobody is perfect. I'm not expecting anybody to be perfect. And I hope that you are not expecting me to be perfect, because one thing I know is that I'm not. I am not perfect. But I am willing to I am really willing to correct, as one of my fifth charges are, to correct, but also at the same time I can be corrected. That's the thing about a lot of people out here speaking on platforms and things like that. They speak in a way where they cannot be corrected. And I understand the MC side of speaking to people and speaking in front of crowds and being a speaker, being educated, educating yourself. At the same time, a lot of people are self-educated, which is no problem, that you do a lot of reading and different things like that. But at the same time, somebody might have a deeper education on even that topic, and they might come along and say, hey, listen, you know, um, yeah, it used to be that many planets, but Pluto is not a planet. That's the new scientific education, right? Pluto is not a planet. And some people will take offense that you corrected them, but that's what it's about. That's what growth is. Growth is about us, about being corrected and receiving the information and taking it and let it add on to you, instead of being offended by someone correcting you. You'll know when somebody is trying to stunt on you and correct you, because that happens too. People will try to correct you and stunt on you about it, try to embarrass you about it. But pay attention to real leaders and true impactful people, and people who wants to who they have an air about them to speak life and encourage you to do better, because the right, you know when it's right. Most of the time, you have to pull a person to the side. You got to be careful of the kind of people that want to correct people in front of everybody, but then at the same time you can't correct them when they, oh, you can't correct me, I'm the law around here, and that's how a lot of people think. So you got to be careful around certain energies. I cannot, me personally, I cannot be around people that can correct me, but then not that I try to even go out of my way to try to correct them back. You know what I mean? But I can't be around people that correct me, but if there is a moment where you might need a correction, and you can't receive it, then I see that we might not have that much in common, because I'm not trying to correct you to put you on blast. I'm trying to correct you so that we do stay on the same page, that we are growing together. We that I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I can tell you what I know, and if you're incorrect, I will let you know. But then if you got a person around you that's like, nah, you can't tell me nothing, then you got to rethink, what kind of relationship and what is it that they're getting, what is it that they want from you, if you can't, if they're not going to receive your edification, your words of edification to build up. Um, yeah, you got to be careful of it. There's also people out here, not careful, but there's also people out here that are jaded by people, so they don't let people get too close to them. People that don't let people get close to them, because they start off as this wanting to be a friend and helping you build up and build you up, but then they run the other way, because they have had an experience with people who were just out to get them, or they try to edify them in a way that makes them less than the actual strength that they are. It's like, for ladies, like, you might have a girlfriend, and she might not have no, I'm gonna keep it real, she might not have no booty, and you got booty, but then she want to tell you, when you want to put on your fitted dress or your fitted jeans or something, she might say, oh, you might not want to wear that to this event, because you know it might be a little too out there. Meanwhile, she got boobs on blast. Meanwhile, she got her boobs on blast, but she wants you to tone down the booty, and that's what it is. People are jaded by people who want to keep watering you down, want to pull you down, want to water you down in order for them to be great in the room. And I don't believe in being in situations like that. Um, I believe that everybody has an excellence about them. Maybe not in all. Some people have it in more areas than one. But I do believe that everyone has a excellence about them, and you have to be strong enough not to let their excellence intimidate you or make you even look like a hater. Don't let somebody else's excellence put you in a position to be a hater. You can't handle it. Like, what's your problem? Have you ever experienced that? Somebody just try to, it's like they don't even, they so caught up in their feelings. It's like, you're like, oh man, I thought you was cool, but I'm gonna have to fall back from you, because you got a little bit too much hateration going on with you. Little too much hateration going on in your blood. And I have a God that don't have that kind of vibe in his blood. Yeah. I was t- today today I was out at the I was out today driving on the way home actually, earlier today. And it's funny. I remember when I was in school. And when I was in school, and like, whenever holiday that we had while we was in school, it was usually a fun day in school. And you know how something, something catches you. I'm not gonna say off guard because it didn't catch me off guard. It more caught me in a shock mode, like kind of like you see something, and it's just something's weird about what you're looking at, and it's not too crazy or nothing like that, but it was just like I kind of was, I was eating my popcorn, and I just kind of looked, as I'm sitting at the stop. So it was a school bus, and the school bus stopped in the middle of the road, of course, to let some kids, off the bus. So when the school bus stopped, you know, I stopped, of course. I was the first one at they let out the stop sign. Of course, you got to stop. That's law. If you don't know that, then you don't need to be driving. If you don't know that yet, right? So I stopped, and the kids got off the bus. So I counted 8 kids got off this school bus. And it's just something about the day was nice. I think it was like 77 degrees today. I was down in South Carolina. It's like 77 degrees, and it's nice. I got the windows cracked. No music playing, but I'm just kind of eating my popcorn, and I just watched the kids get off the bus. Um, and when I say 8 kids, 8 kids went across the stop sign across the street, and then there was more kids. Probably another 6 or 7 kids went the other way. But I was watching these 8 kids in particular, and I'm just watching them, and I'm just kind of like watching them walk, and I'm going, 8 kids got off the bus on April Fool's Day, and every kid had their phone in their hands, and their heads were down, and they was just walking to their, prospective homes, like going home, walking home. And I'm just kind of like looking at that, and I'm going, wow, kids don't. It's like 8 kids on April Fools. There's no conversation between none of the kids. You can hear the birds still chirping. I had the window down. You can hear the birds chirping. And every kid is like head down in their phone, walking home. And like nobody's talking about nothing. And I said, the world, and it came out of my mouth. I said, boy, have the world changed. And I just had to accept that. I had to accept it as like, am I, oh, is this the way now? Is this the way? Like, nobody's playing no April Fool's jokes. Nobody is talking. Nobody is in like a play mood. Everybody is like, I hate to say it, but it was like they were robots. It's like the kids. I mean, and I'm talking like I'm sure, like the size of the kids. These kids are, by the time they 12, they're the same size as LeBron James. When they in middle school, seventh, eighth grade, for some reason, kids are now LeBron James size, right? But so I don't know if they were high school. I'm saying it to say I don't know if they were high schooler or middle schooler, but they somewhere in between there. Seventh, eighth, ninth grade. High school. But it was like these kids are like robots. No, it's like I didn't see one lick of personality. Nobody had a conversation about nothing. Nobody, listen, no boys was chasing no girls. Y- you know, when I was a kid, there was always a girl saying, "Stop, stop pulling my hair. Stop." It was always something. Somebody was messing with somebody. Nothing, nothing. And I think that is, I think, it just caught me off guard. It really did kind of like, I'm like, huh? It's kind of like, it's like, man, it's like, no, nothing, nothing. Just, we're going to just, I mean, walk across the street, just head down. And don't tell me you was reading. You're not reading. You're not reading these kids. They wasn't reading. They was scrolling something. Yeah. So it's Tuesday, you guys. It's Tuesday, and we're heading into Wednesday tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, but what you do on Wednesday, but I know on Wednesdays I watch Bible study. Pick one, pick a house. It used to be that they say churches are on every corner. There's a churches on social media. There's pick one. I don't know that you need to know a word of God. You don't know nothing about God. Shame on you. Pick a social media and get involved. Learn something. You don't know nothing about the Bible. No, if you 15 years old and you don't know nothing about the Bible, at this point now it's not your parents' fault. It's your fault. And if you are a parent of a 15-year-old and they don't know nothing about God, you should have at least introduced them at least once. So here's the thing about church. So it's I don't know if this ever happened before. I can't remember if it has, but so this year, speaking of April, you know, I don't think we have any official holidays in April that I know of. I know we have April Fools, but uh, we also have 420. Well, and well, Easter. Easter is in April. But the reason why I'm saying this is 420 falls on Easter this year. Hmm. 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 420 falls on Easter this year. Where will you be? Is this a day that what are you gonna be doing? What are you doing on Easter this year? Keep it real. Keep it real. What are you doing on Easter this year? I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing on Easter. I am going to church. I'm gonna squeeze myself into a church somewhere on Easter. I have to. I'm gonna squeeze myself in there. Yep. I'm gonna squeeze myself in there. What are you guys doing? Are you going to church or are you going to the dispensary? What are you doing? As for me in my house, I'll be going to church. Or are you going to the dispensary? Or are you gonna try to do both? Somebody got it in their mind. I'm just saying what people are. Somebody got it in their mind. Somebody gonna be in the parking lot at the church and then try to go, and then try to get up in there like, praise the Lord, and He has risen. And somebody's gonna try to put that metaphor together. Try to put those two pieces together and try to make it make sense. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're wrong. Don't do that. If you are watching this, don't do that. You go and serve the Lord. That's what you do. Give Him praise. After church, hey, I ain't telling you nothing crazy to do. Yeah, I'm on this thing. I'm on this thing. I wanted to get on. I said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just be patient. I'm waiting for someone to wait. I think I got a comment while I was in Belize last year. Wait, let's see who put this up there. I'm gonna put it right here. This is from the Crab Diva for life. While I was in Belize last year, I just learned what 420 was. I think I'm the only one that didn't know what it meant. Well, Aren't you the sweetest and innocent? Aren't you sweet and innocent? You didn't know what 420 was. Yeah, a lot of people didn't. But yeah, that's Bob Marley Day, if you catch my drift. For the people who, love Bob Marley and his lifestyle. It's a day. I've been knowing about it for years, and there was a time when I used to celebrate on this day as well. But a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed. So, and you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say about people who smoke weed. Here's what I'm gonna say. I grew up around it. I have family that they are partakers. I used to quite often. Um, I can't knock anybody. I can't knock anybody. But Rama, she wouldn't she wouldn't say innocent, but Rama. Right. I feel you. No, I'm not knocking anybody for smoking weed. Even though I don't smoke weed anymore, I still would feel hypocritical telling someone that they're wrong for smoking weed. And I'll be honest with you, especially the young people, because that's when I did it. That's when I did it the most. Um, so I would feel very hypocritical telling young people that they um you shouldn't smoke weed and this, that, and the third. Everything is in moderation. Too much of anything is not good for you. You should know that, of course, too much of anything is not good for you. But I don't want to be hypocritical and tell you that it's the worst thing in the world, or if it's not for recreation and having fun, because when I did, I enjoyed. I wasn't a knucklehead. I wasn't out in the streets acting crazy when I was out there. So I don't want to tell people that it's the worst thing in the world. It's just, watch your intake. If I would tell them anything, is just watch your intake and don't let it control you. Cuz that's me. That's my issue. And I think because of my upbringing and my life, I think that uh with my upbringing, I have this thing that's kind of carved out within my energy, within my spirit. There's this energy that says I can't be um addicted to anything, and I won't allow myself to be addicted to anything. This is an area where I probably might need counseling because it might hurt me in some other areas in life. Gives you I don't know, maybe commitment anxieties and things like that I've struggled with, right? But yeah, it's not, I don't want to tell anybody that it's not don't do it, don't do this, don't it's no, just kind of like it's in moderation, my upbringing, I'll go back to that. My upbringing, the reason why I think like this and why my mind is so strong on it, because I did grow up. As a youngster, I had parents who were addicted to drugs. You know what I mean? They were addicted to, hardcore drugs in the street. And so, because I seen that and because I grew up under that energy, I just, in my spirit and my mindset, it's like I can't be addicted to anything. I don't allow anything to control me. And it's the same thing like growing up as well in Boston, Massachusetts. Like, I seen a lot of kids that I grew up with, they were with the gangs and the cliques and stuff like that. Even to this day, I'm not clicky because I remember when I was younger, it was, dude tried to get me to get down with his posse or his team, and I seen the way he treated his team. I see the way he talked. So what really all he wanted was some people that he can punk and chump. And I'm just keep it real how I was thinking as a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid. I was like, there's no way you can be my leader. You can't read. How are you my leader? You don't you've already dropped out of school. You're not making any money. You're not even making money in the street. You're just out here causing havoc. You're just out here being a menace. You're out here bullying. You're out here. I was like, there's no, is that your cause? Because if that's your cause, then I can't do that. So I think my upbringing, I think it taught me to, it helped me to stay away from that kind of life, drinking too much, you know, smoking too much, smoking cigarettes, anything that I seen as a vice, and it wasn't a vice that helped them, but a vice that slowed them down or made a person's life stagnant. I got away from it. Some people say, because you were scary. Whatever. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Oh, I got. Hold on. Somebody else is coming in. What it say? The crab diva for life said, "I question the fact that people depend on prescription medicine. What is wrong with smoking regular regular weed for healing purposes or to just feel a little better?" Yeah, I I I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you're right about that. The crab diva. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, because drugs is drugs. At the end of the day, you have medicine that you get from the pharmacy, and then now they got dispensaries. So what does that say? Yeah, people are out here, and they're smoking consuming more marijuana, and I believe that there is, because it is from the earth. I will say there has to be healing properties in it. So I don't see any problem with people um, indulging or partaking, in teas, because now they do it in teas, they do it in butter, they do it in brownies, they do it differently, and whatever floats your boat. But at the same time, even the medicines over the counter at the pharmacy, too much of it has proven, because people break into, criminals break into pharmacies to get things that they are addicted to, that they have become addicted to. So too much of anything is not good for you. So yeah, if you smoke weed for healing, from what I know, a lot of people smoke it. Cancer patients smoke it. Some people smoke it for sleeping, and some people smoke it for eating. Some people just smoke it for recreation, just to be out of their reality space for a little while. To each his own. So back to what I was saying, I would feel hypocritical telling people that they can't smoke, or they can't not to smoke at all, and you're wrong, and judge them for it. I would never do that. Never do that. Yeah. Um so that's what she said. She replied back, you guys. She said, I get your point in terms of a substance of any kind to control me. Yeah, so I get what you're saying. So you probably feel that too. Like it's like, I don't want to be controlled. I do not want to be controlled by anything, anyone, anything. I just don't. I don't think really anybody does. I don't think anybody does. I'm gonna take it to something about the Bible, something that I do. Um, and maybe within the last 2 years, under 2 years, that I've been doing this when it comes to the Bible. A lot of conversation comes up with me and friends, and we talk about reading the entire Bible. I have a friend that when we talk and we go kind of deep into the conversation, she says, "Oh man," she's like, "Shane, it's like you read the whole Bible." And I tell you, it what I do in order, to so that I can cover the whole Bible. Every month, every month, I'll look at the chapters in a book, and I'm just trying to tell you just how I do it. Every month, no matter what I read in the Bible, I'll pick a book. 66 books in the Bible. I'll pick a book It could be anything. Ezekiel, Second Corinthians, First Corinthians, Samuel 1, Samuel 2. It can be anything. Genesis. You can go from the beginning, go to Revelation. But whatever the book is, especially the long ones, the long chapters, the long books, I'm sorry. I take that book, I count how many chapters is in that book, and I break them down into 30 days. I break them down into 30 days. And I read, and it kind of boils down to almost being a chapter a day for the month, right? And so I'll take that book and I'll just read from the beginning to the end of that book. And I don't know what other people do, but that's what I do. I just read it. I just read from the beginning of that chapter, and I read it to the end. I think the best thing to do is to do that in the order that the book is, in order to cover the entire Bible. It's not how fast you finish, and this is what I will say too. It's not about how fast you finish the word. It's not about how fast you finish, but it is about finishing it. And it's taking the time, because here's what I do understand, and what I love about the Bible as well is that you're not going to know everything. You can read it as much as you want, but it is an alive book, and it's always going to speak. And even when you do get one part, if you read it 2 years later, that same thing that you get is going to tell you something else. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. The words are alive, living. And so it's not, a lot of people, oh, I'm going to do it in this time. I'm gonna read the whole Bible in 6 months. I'm gonna read the whole Bible in a year. I'm gonna read. Nope. It might take you 2 years. It might take you 3 years. But if you go from front to the back, some people are fast readers. You might can read it within 6 months. Um, I don't know anybody that's done it in one sitting. I don't think that that's even possible. To read the Bible from the beginning to the end in one sitting, but take your time with it. Get an understanding of it, of the Word of God, of the Holy Bible. That's what I do. Um, and the deeper you go in it, the more you just love it. It falls on you, and then you start asking the Bible questions. I remember one of the time before I started walking with God. I remember um, one of the things that held me back from um, from making my decision as a grown person to walk with God. The hardest thing was because I always heard you can't ask God any questions. You can't whatever he does, it is, and it is so, and you can't question it. So that kind of held me back. That always put me in the mindset, God, I want to come to you. You seem very interesting, but I got to get this money. What happens when my when my money's messed up? I can't ask you what's going on with this money and why this is this, that, and the third. So that always kind of kept me back from one of the things that probably kept me back. But as I read and as I speak to spiritual mentors and people who are well knowledgeable of the Word of God and even got it in their spirit, and have been elected to sit in certain seats of God. When I say elected, of certain seats, meaning elected as pastor, elected as evangelists, elected as prophets, and tongues, speaking in tongues and different things. And as I sit and speak with these people and get schooled, I learn. I learn as I get schooled that no, it's about asking questions. It's about asking questions, and then and as my dad would even tell me, it's not even it's not just asking questions. Go ahead and ask them the question, but you have to also sit and wait on the answer. Sit and wait on what he has to say. Sit and wait on what he has coming, what the answer is. Because we live in a time where nobody has time to wait on the answer. Everybody's going to do it in their own time. I'm not about to ask. Um, God who I can't see and wait for an answer. Because if you think like that, that means you don't believe as much as you say. You believe in God. Yeah, I believe in God. Will you wait for his answer? I feel crazy waiting for his answer. Well, then you have some doubt, my son. You have some doubt, and you have to change that. You have to pray and wait. Pray and wait. And I'm glad that I got that call that day. I got that call from my dad that day when um he called, and I said, he said, "What was you doing?" I said, I said I was praying. And my dad said, he said, "You was praying?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well," he said, "Praying for something?" I said, "Yeah." He said, he said, "What'd he say?" And I was like, "Well, I had to do something like that." And he said, "Yeah." And that was the first time I heard this piece of advice. He said, "After you pray," he said, "make sure you sit for another 10 minutes. Just sit there. Sit in the same silence that you sat in to pray. You have to sit there for another 10, 15, sometimes 30 minutes. Doesn't matter, whatever he says. Just sit there. And believe me, answers will understanding and counsel will flow into you. It'll flow. It'll flow to your spirit. What is that? Isaiah 11:2. Go read it for yourself. Isaiah 11:2. There's seven. See if I know them real quick. Let me see real quick if I know them. It's the rest or awe of God, resting in God, the awe of God, the counsel of God, understanding, wisdom, uh, understanding, wisdom, knowledge. Uh, I know the last one. There's another one in there. Uh, wisdom, understanding, knowledge, counsel. There's a sixth one. And then there's the seventh one is fear, if I'm not mistaken. Fear. And usually when I pray, I pray over those. All right, so now I gotta, because now I'm like, that sixth one's gonna mess with me. So that sixth one's gonna mess with me. So now I gotta get it because I want to be correct. What was the sixth one? Isaiah 6, Isaiah 11:2, I believe it is. Now I gotta give it to you guys. Gotta give it to you guys. Hold on one second. Bear with me. Don't run away. Because I know y'all are just so impatient these days. Where you finna go? Where you finna go? What you about to do? Nothing. So just wait a minute. That's what we talking about. You gotta wait. You pray and then you wait. Let me find this for you because there's six of them. I don't know why that sixth one just kind of. And the spirit of the Lord will rest on him. So that's rest of God. It's just resting. I said at one of the episodes I talked about the unforced rhythms of grace, unforced rhythms of grace, which is rest in God. I so accept who he is, what he has done. I have all faith in God that he is real. So I rest in him. Like my situation is, no matter how it looks to you, my situation is worked out. I rest in him. Unforced rhythms of grace. I rest in him. The spirit of wisdom and understanding. So there it is. So that's the rest, which is one. Spirit of wisdom and understanding. That's three. The spirit of counsel, from him. That was it. That was it. Uh, counsel, and then there's might. The spirit of knowledge. That's uh, that's the sixth, and then fear. And then fear. So might, his power. That's the one I was missing. You cannot do it in your own strength. Don't try to do it in your own strength. Pray for his might. So that's what I. These are the things that I pray for when I pray. I pray for the rest. the rest to be at ease in him, to be relaxed, to be just, it is like, I know he got me. I know he got me. I don't know about y'all. I'm sure he does, but if you don't believe, then that's your own fault. The miracles of God are for those who believe. So in the spirit, so yeah, rest, his wisdom. I ask him to increase my wisdom, thank him for the wisdom, his understanding, his understanding of me and the understanding mostly of him. More importantly, the understanding of him, understanding of the things that you are doing. Because sometimes we have plans and purposes that God gives us. We have plans that mix with, God's purpose for us. He gives it to us. And it's so big that we don't necessarily know how to do it. How do I do this? How do I make this plan? How do I make this come to life? How do I do it? And a lot of us don't really know how to do it. So you ask God for understanding, the knowledge and understanding. Those kind of go together. Yeah. Yeah, the knowledge and understanding, the wisdom, wisdom to be smart. How do I go about doing this? Help me with the knowledge. Show me what I need to be learning, so that I can make this manifest, make this come to life, so that I can start building on it. It's the same thing like with Noah and the ark. It's like when Noah started building that ark, nobody, what you doing? It had never rained on the earth before. So what are you doing? And that's the same thing about your vision. It's the same thing about the same thing about your vision, and that you have this thing that you have in your heart and you don't even know why it's there. You don't know why you want to do this thing. Why do I want to open up this business? Why do I want to start this business? Why do I want to go live in this town? Why do I want to live in this state? Why do I want to live in this country? Why do I want to do these things? And for the most part, you want to do these things because God placed them in you to do it, because he knows that you are capable of doing it. Even without the right now knowledge or wisdom or understanding. But I know God's like, I know you can do it. You're the one. I chose you. What is it? John 15 and 16. You didn't choose God. He chose you first. He chose you first. He chose you. You didn't choose him. He chose you. Now go be fruitful. And you're like, God, I don't know. I don't know how to do these things like Moses. He said, God, I am not elegant of speech. You want me to go and speak to Pharaoh and tell him to let my people go and speak to these people and lead these people? I am not. Send Aaron, send somebody else. I'm not the one. I've had those moments in my life. I've had those moments. You might have had those moments in your life too. I've had those moments. Like, God, that's God. I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna dance, and I'm gonna be on stage, and I'm gonna write these songs, and I'm gonna produce. That's what I'm gonna do. And God said, "Yeah, you can do that too, but that's not what I purposed you to do. That's what you want to do. That's what it was a. I'll keep it real with you guys. It was a safety net, and you got really good at using your survival vice. You got really good at your survival vice, that it made you believe that that was the purpose of your life. Mm. Your survival vice. I'm gonna go sing. I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna be a choreographer. I got really good at that. Thought that's what I was supposed to do. And God said, "No, I'm gonna use you for this." I'm like, God, I can go sing in front of people, I can go dance in front of people, but speak life into people? What? God, I don't even. God, I am not elegant of speech. I'm insecure. I don't think I'm all this and all that. I got problems. I got issues. My view of the world is warped in different. Me? You want me to help people be better? Me? You want me to help people be better? God, I'm not better. I'm not better. So how you want me to help other people be better, God, if I'm not better? And that's what Moses was saying. Yet still, one of the strongest prophets and leaders in the Bible, Moses. Exodus, book of exits, the one who led them out, led them through the Red Sea, didn't know it was possible. Noah, God, what are you talking about? Build something, what? To float on water? It never rained. What are you talking about? Floods coming by rain? What are you? Hey, what? He said, yeah, I'm gonna even use, I'm gonna even use your drinking. I'm gonna even use your drinking because I know you like to drink. So drink the whole time, but build that thing I told you to build. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Yeah, man, man, I'm glad y'all tapped in with me. I'm glad y'all tapped in with your boy. Oh shoot! Wait a minute. I think the crab lady. I just seen she didn't posted some stuff. What she said? Oh, I got to go back a little bit. She said the King James version can be pretty challenging to read. I get you. Yep. What version of the Bible do you read or recommend to make it more understanding? Um, I do like the for me, I do like the NKJV, the New King's James version. I do like that. I like that. But for the most part, I read the NIV. But then, so for the most part, I do read the NIV, but I do like the NKJV. But the NIV is mostly what I read. And then from there, NLT. And when I read, and then even when I get to places where I want a more clearer understanding, um, I'll switch over to the message version. Excuse me, the message version, because when you get over to the message version, the message version will break it down for you in conversation terms. And also another book that I like to read when I read the Bible, I'll flip over to the AMPC, the Amplified, because it adds in more words in parentheses. It adds in more words to break down what it's saying. So for those of you who you know, I had a family member call me, and he said he likes going to church. He loves to hear the word, but he said when it comes to reading the word, he said he don't really understand what he's reading, and that's real. A lot of people go through that. So the first thing I asked him was, "What version are you reading?" And he said he reads the KJV, which is the King James version raw. Now thou if thateth, if youeth, wanteth, toeth, learneth, thateth, weigheth, then if it willeth, beeth, a little moreth, struggleth for youeth, and then trying to understand the parables and understand all of that on top of Shakespeare's version of the Holy Bible. It could be tough. It could be tough, but don't let it stop you. All those other versions that I just said, they all are saying the same exact thing. Those other versions are saying the same thing that the KJV is. It's just those, each verse is just broken down into the way you speak and the way that you read um, in current times, how we read. So, um, so those are a few that I think that I would suggest for you guys to go and look into. So I would say go look into NIV, of course, do NIV, but then do NLT. AMPC is another one. Um, NKJV is good. And there's another one I seen a brother reading. I think it's tree of life. I think it's the tree. Yeah, I think it's the tree of life version, something like that. Um, but me, I'll read any of them. I can read. I understand the King James version as well. It's tough. It's a tough read because of the Shakespearean style of writing of it. It's a little tough, but don't let that stop you. I like to read that too. But if you are really trying to get into um, the nuts and bolts of the Bible and how it's put together, what it's saying, what the life is in it, um, then the only thing you need to switch is the version that you're reading. But they all say the same thing, and that's the word of God. It's all the word of God. It's the number one best life edification book, self help book you're ever gonna read in your life. It's the best self help book you're ever gonna read in your life. Um, Let me see. So yeah, go with those. Go with those. Um, Man, the crab like she's on point. She's asking some really good questions. I love it. Um, She also said, thank God for the personal relationship because I've personally learned that it's okay to respectfully approach him with a question that concerns you. Yeah, absolutely. So she took it back for you guys who just jumped on. We talked a little bit about that a few minutes ago. But back on, yeah, it's okay to ask God a question. It is okay to ask God a question. Who else you gonna ask? A lot of times we ask God a question and we want to hear the answer that fits us. And sometimes, the answer will come back and it'll be so raw cut for you. That's when you're mature enough. Yeah, because then there's a level of being mature enough to read the Bible. And you got to understand, because some people, you don't, whatever you do, don't read the Bible as a weapon for, oh, when they say this, I'm going to say that. Don't read the Bible like that. That is not right. Don't read the Bible with any kind of malice in your heart. Because I'm gonna tell you the first thing that the Bible is one of the first things that the Bible will do. And this is what I had to learn and what matured me. No matter what my situation is, no matter what this situation is that I'm going through, the Bible is always going to point the finger back to me. So no matter what you're doing, trying to find out what's this and why is this hard and why did my mama leave me and why did my sister do that and why did my daddy do this and why did this and da da da, all of that your feelings, all of that is true. Everything you feel, everything you've been through, everything you experience, that is the journey of your life. Unfortunately, some stuff is rough, some stuff is wrong, some people messed up, some people messed up with you, some people showed up in your life and your story and as the character, as a villain, and so be it. That's what happened. But if you have survived and you are alive and you are still living and you got bills to pay and you got your own kids and you got God is going to turn your own finger right back on you. And I know it's probably people. A lot of people say that's not fair. I wanna be able to check people and cuss people out who did me wrong. Yep, that's a human feeling. Definitely, definitely, we want to do that. But are you in a space? Are you healed? Check people from a healed standpoint, not from a hurt, because all you're going to do is all you're doing is trying to get back at them with the same pain that they put on you. It gets nowhere. It does nothing. Does nothing to the person. They're like, now you still broken. They're gonna be like, it's gonna make you more mad because all they're gonna tell you is get over it, and you're gonna be like, you disrespectful, and then that takes you to another level. No, You're gonna check somebody that did you wrong. Be healed when you approach them, so that you can get out what you really want to say. Of course, your feelings are gonna be there, but you have a better chance at saying what you really want to say, and those words hit how you need them to hit, and really for the most part, more importantly, how God needs them to hit that person. So God is you checking them. It's a ministry, and it's not toxic. Approaching somebody about how they did you wrong. Um, God's going to say, let it be a ministry. Let it be done in the right way. Let it be done with me present. Invite me into that, not your feelings, because it's just going to make the situation worse. Or you're going to walk away feeling more disrespected, more hurt than you did when you approached them because you wasn't ready to let them know how you felt. And some of the beginning of that is forgiveness. You gotta That's the thing. You forgive these people. They did you wrong. You gotta forgive them in order to begin your healing process. I'm getting messages like crazy. Yeah. um and what else did she say? This crab lady, she's on point. She's on point. Prayer equals conversations with God. Praise equals to glorify, worship him. That's right. That's how do you pray? How do we pray? You hear people say that. I don't know how to pray. I believe it starts off with you just having a conversation about about your issues, about what upset you, about what angered you, about who hurt you. Um, Mostly, once again, about how you felt, how you feel about a situation. And then you get into praising him, quoting back to him the scripture that aligns with your situation, the things that the things that you are going through. And then you worship him. And I believe that the worshiping him is the ultimate thanking him in advance. Glory to God. Yeah. Yeah. Stop stepping on my toes. She's like, God, you want me to do what? Right. Yeah. She's like, God, you want me to do what? That's how most people feel. But it's the truth, though. It is the truth. How long I've been on here? Um, I'm glad that you guys did tap in with me. Um, this was fun. This was definitely fun. This was fun. I'm gonna do this more often. Just jump on and just go live with you guys and just talk about this and that. I think it's important that we build a relationship. Once again, you guys, make sure you guys click subscribe and share the content. What I'm doing, more to come. I'm gonna keep on building on Fifth Charge, so more to come. So you guys just subscribe, share the content, talk. Let's talk more. I'm gonna do it like this so that you guys can ask questions in real time as well, because I think that's really important that we get to talk. As the episode is going on. I think it's important. I'm going to keep building on this thing, and I'm praying for the right people to come and help me with what I'm doing here. Um, so thank you guys for tapping in and just sitting with me. Like I said, we need to talk. Um, and it was just random stuff. I want to thank the Crab Diva for Life, A.K.A. Steph B Speaks. Good friend of mine. Just That's one of the people that I get on the phone with, and we go backwards and forth. The edification, the friendship, the bond that it has become real in the last 3 years. It has become very very real, and just thank you for jumping on and being present with me. And for everybody else that jumped on as well, thank you guys. Let's do it again. Uh, tell somebody else. I don't know when I don't know the next time. I'm gonna put it on. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, because when I do this live, I'm gonna uh I'm gonna put this on my social media when I'm gonna go live again. And hopefully we can get the numbers up. We can get you to tell a friend, to tell another friend, to tell all their friends to come and jump on, and we can go backwards and forth, and we can kick it, and we can talk a little bit more. I feel like I was a message had came to me today that said, um, I think it's time for you to conversate. And this is somebody that I totally respect. Um, that I totally respect, in the seat that he sits in, as I was talking about earlier, the elected seat, that I totally respect and love. And he said that it's time for me to start going live. And I wanted to be obedient tonight. That's one of the reasons why I jumped on tonight and went live. I wanted to make sure that in God's presence, as what was said was in the air, I wanted to jump on and be obedient in the moment. I wanted to be obedient in the moment, when it was said by a man of God, like I said, that I totally respect and love, and that he said it. So I said, I'm going to do it right now. And I did it without being prepared, without writing anything. But he said, it's time for me to speak to people live, introduce myself a little bit deeper, a little bit, because I do have that. I'm very. I'm not going to say that I have secrets, because I really don't. I said it from the beginning when I first started Fifth Charge, that I definitely am a open book. If you ask me any question, I'll tell you the answer. I'm not one that tries to duck and hide from anything. And what I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Uh, but if I do know, I will tell you what I do know. If you have a question. Um, so I think it's time, and it's good to have people like that in your corner, that see you, and that want to see you grow from where you are. And I want to grow, and I think that's why I wanted to come on and do this. And I'm glad that you guys did tap in. Once again, share this. I'm trying to grow. I want to know more people. Um, I want to be in the rooms with great men, and women of God, and I want to learn. I'm a student. I'm not here to be over anybody. I'm here as an eager student to learn more, and I want to learn more. Um, hear other testimonies that I can relate to, that will help edify me, um, in the what to do, what not to do, in this realm. So once again, you guys, thank you for tapping in, and once again, make sure you guys subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok. Put in Shannyn Casino anywhere. Very easy to touch, very easy to find. Um, I want to build this up so there's more reason to find me. If you catch my drift, for you to find me. Um, let's continue to build this relationship. Share this content. I don't know if you're getting this on Facebook, if you're getting this on YouTube, but share this. Share this. I want to grow Fifth Charge. Something great about it. I can't let it go. Every time I say I'm not going to do it, I end up turning this microphone on, and I don't believe that I'm going to stop. This is it. All right. Thank you guys once again. The name is Shannyn Casino. This is Fifth Charge. SynCo is the name, and I'll talk to y'all soon. I'm ending, signing off. SC, yeah.